Let's talk about synthetic sound effects. You know, when you go to see a movie and it's a high-budget movie, it's maybe spectacular, and you hear explosions, you hear wind blowing through a valley, you hear wind blowing through trees, volcanoes, car wrecks, gunshots. Almost all of it in a high-budget movie, all of the sound effects are synthetic. So let's talk about how to generate a simple synthetic sound effect. Today, we'll talk about wind blowing through trees. Say you're out in Colorado and there's a valley and the wind's blowing through the trees. Let's do it synthetically. We'll use multi-track software. In this case, I'm using Sony Acid Pro, but you can use regular Sony Acid or Music Maker or any of the cheap ones because we like to do things cheap. So we're going to take some pink noise and we're going to put it in track 1, and then we'll clone it to track 2, clone it to track 3, and clone it to track 4. Same thing in all 4 tracks. Then on each track we'll set a different EQ. All right, on track 1 we're going to set it so that everything rolls off above 80. So it's just going to be low frequencies from 0 to 80. Track 2 we're going to roll everything off on the low end and the high end so that we have 80 cycles to 320 cycles. And then on track 3, we're going to roll everything off the low and the high end so that the only thing left is 320 cycles to 1K. And then on track 4, let's just have only 1K to 2.5. Everything else is rolled off. You can experiment with this and use different settings for different kinds of wind or whatever. It's all fun. Try different stuff. So now we will put volume envelopes on each one of those tracks. Those blue lines in there are just some random volume envelopes that I've put in for this experiment. Now these volume envelopes, these blue lines, they'll bring the volume up and down on these different ranges, these different frequency ranges of the pink noise. And it'll get a sweeping effect. When you put it all together, here's what the wind blowing through the trees sounds like.